Composer's Biography. Annamayya.
Welcome to the lecture series on Carnatic music. In this session, let us discuss about the following topics. 1. Introduction. 2. Musicianship. And 3. Historical account and compositional analysis. Introduction. Sri Tallapaka Annamacharya, also known as Annamayya, is a mystic saint composer of the 15th century. He is the earliest known musician of South India to compose songs called Samkirtanas in praise of Lord Venkateshwara, the deity of the seven hills in Tirumala, Andhra Pradesh. He is widely regarded as the Telugu Pada Kavita Pitamaha, the grand old man of simple poetry. Annamacharya was born on Vaishakha Shuddha Paurnami in the year Sarvadhari, May 9th, 1408, in Tallapaka, a remote village in current-day Kadapa district of Andhra Pradesh. He lived immaculately for 95 years until Falguna Bahula Dwadashi, 12th day after full moon in the year Dundubhi, February 23rd, 1503. His wife Timaka was also a poet and had written Subhadra Kalyanam and is considered the first Telugu woman poet. His son Pedda Tirumalacharya is also a well-known Bhagyakara. He wrote the Ramanuja Sampradayam with the blessings of Sri Shatagopa Yatindra of the Ahobali Mutt. Annamacharya has composed about 32,000 Samkirtanas on Lord Venkateshwara and Sri Alamelumanga Sri Venkateshwara Satakam.
Musicianship. Annamacharya is to be reckoned as the first among the hymnographers in Telugu, not only from the viewpoint of chronology, but also for his excellent artistry and range of feeling and thought. He was a pioneer in the field who could handle both amorous and devotional strains with equal felicity. The eroticism evident in Kshetrajna's love lyrics and Tyagaraja's rapturous praises of the glories of Rama are undoubtedly reminiscent of Annamayya's treatment of these elements in his hymns. Annamayya pioneered singing of Pada or Samkirtana in Telugu language. He started composing lyrics at the age of 16 when he was fascinated by his devotion to Lord Venkateshwara. After the Saivite Nayanars of the 3rd century and Vaishnavite Alvars between 7th and 12th century, Annamacharya is the earliest composer of lyrics in Telugu in the 15th century. Annamacharya was greatly influenced by the legacy of the god-intoxicated poet-composers, the Alvars, and was well acquainted with their hymns. As a convert to the Vishishtadvaita sect, Annamacharya had devoted many years to the study of its theology. Therefore, he shared the emotional mysticism of the Alvars as well as their intense love for the god of the seven hills. Be it Alvars of the 7th to the 12th century, Jayadeva of the 11th century, Chandidas Vidyapati or Annamayya, they followed composing love lyrics of God with predominance of eroticism in their compositions. Their songs had a desi milieu and deserved no reproof from any quarters. Those were the limits of permissiveness as observed by the liberators, painters, and architects as part of the Indian ethos of the Middle Ages.
Sriman-Narayana, 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 Sripadame Sharanu, Sriman-Narayana, 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 Sripadame Sharanu, Sriman-Narayana, 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 Sripadame Sharanu, Sriman-Narayana, 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 Sripadame Sharanu.
Historical account and compositional analysis. According to a poetical work in Telugu titled Annamayya Charitram, written by his grandson Chinna Thiruvenkatanada, Annamayya's period has almost unanimously been specified to be between 1408 and 1507 AD. He was born to Nadavaraka Brahmin parents in Tallapaka, a village situated not far from Tirupati in early 15th century, most probably on 22nd May 1408. His forefathers obviously acquired the name Tallapaka from their association with the village for a long period of time. Annamayya's parents, Narayana Suri and Lakkamamba, belonged to the Smartha sect. It is said that desiring a male child, they went on a pilgrimage to the shrine of Venkateshwara on top of the hill and met with an unusual experience. Within the precincts of the temple, they saw in a vision the Nandaka sword and in due course were blessed with a son in answer to their prayers. The story about the mystic vision of Nandaka sword and the subsequent birth of Annamayya is in consonance with the traditional belief of the Vaishnavas that their saints are embodiments of the objects and attendants of Vishnu in Vaikunta. Annamayya, like Nammalvar, was born under the star Vishakha in the Vaishakha month, and both miraculously received spiritual enlightenment at the age of 16. Annamayya appears to have been quite bright in his studies, and his songs bear sufficient testimony to the fact that he had received sound instruction in classical learning at an early age. It seems that he grew weary of the ways of the world when he was only a boy of 8 years. During his childhood, he was given several chores by his parents and relatives whom he detested. There is a Samkirtana indicating this. Ayyo Poya Brayamu. In this Samkirtana, he indicates that his life was getting wasted on mundane and meaningless tasks. At the age of 16, Annamayya saw a vision of Lord Venkateshwara, and the following lyrics is said to have burst forth in his ecstasy as mentioned by Chinnanna. Kalaganti, Kalaganti, Ippuditu Kalaganti. One day, when he was sent to cut grass, he observed a happy band of pilgrims on their way to Tirupati. They were singing songs of the Lord, and the temptation to follow them was irresistible to Annamayya. He left his village and family and followed the pilgrims all the way to Tirupati. From Tirupati, he started early morning and visited Narasimha Swami, Talayerugundu, Peddayekkudu, Kapura Pungalu, and reached Mokkala Parvata by evening. As a custom, the Mokkala Parvata is said to be climbed with the knees. Without realizing it, Annamayya climbed the mountain with his slippers and was unable to go any further due to exhaustion. Alamelumanga is said to have appeared before him as an old woman and advised him to give up the slippers. She gave him the Divya Prasadam and disappeared. At this point, he recited spontaneously a Satakam on Alamelumanga. Annamacharya then reached Tirupati and visited the Swami Pushkarini and recited several songs. Finally, on having the darshan of the Lord, he recited the following song expressing his unconditional joy. Podagantimayya Mimmu Purushottama. He then composed several lyrics on the greatness of the Lord and his Abhayahastam. In his songs, he makes several references to Guru, but it is not clearly known as to whom he exactly may have attributed. Through the songs and legends, it is understood that it was Lord Venkateshwara himself in the guise of a learned man who advised Annamayya to go back home and have a family. The following song expresses this idea that it was only Lord Venkateshwara who was Annamayya's true Guru. Sarvo Payamula Jagati. Yet another verse shows in Annamayya's own words that he has composed 32,000 songs in praise of his Guru or Paramatma.
Brahmakadigina Padamu, Brahmakadigina Padamu, Brahmakadigina Padamu, Brahmamutanani Padamu, Brahmakadigina Padamu, Brahmamutanani Padamu, Brahmakadigina Padamu, Brahmamutanani Padamu, Brahmakadigina Padamu, Brahmamutanani Padamu, Brahmakadigina Padamu. Chalagi vasudha koli chinnani padamu, Chalagi vasudha koli chinnani padamu, Balitalamu bina padamu, Chalagi vasudha koli chinnani padamu, Balitalamu bina padamu, Talaka gagalamu talnina padamu, Talaka gagalamu talnina padamu, Balaripukkachina padamu, Balaripukkachina padamu, Brahmakadigina padamu, Kamini Papamu Kadigina Padamu, కామిని పాపము కడిగిన పాదము పాము తల్ల నిడిన
Pademu Memu Paramatma. Sometime thereafter, Annamayya returned to his village and became a grihastha, man with a family, by marrying 2 girls, Tirumalamma and Akkalamma, in deference to the wishes of his parents. Tirumalamma, also known as Timaka, was herself a poet who wrote the narrative poem Subhadra Kalyanam and acquired the distinction of being the first noteworthy woman poet in Telugu. Annamayya visited many holy places and composed innumerable Sringara Samkirtanas on God. At a very young age, Annamayya composed Ramayana in Samkirtana form. The loftiness of his sentiments and felicity of his language, the intensity of his devotion, soon began to attract the attention of people at large. When Saluva Narasingaraya, who was then the chief of Tanguturu, a town near Tallapakka, came to know about the saintliness of Annamacharya, he approached the poet with great reverence and humbly begged him to visit his place and stay there as his honored guest. Narasingaraya began to thrive and prosper and soon rose to be the ruler of the fort of Penugonda in the Vijayanagara Empire. At his invitation, Annamayya went to Penugonda and stayed there for a while. There is a well-known story in the context of Annamacharya's stay at the court of Saluva Narasingaraya. On a certain occasion, Narasingaraya requested the poet to sing an erotic song on the deity. Annamacharya obliged by reciting the following composition, in which there is a suggestive description of the teasing of the heroine by her friends when she comes out of the bedchamber after spending the night with her lord. Emu ko chiguru tadhara muna. Narasingaraya was so deeply moved by the luminous beauty of the song and requested the poet to compose a similar song on him. Annamacharya strongly refused this request of the king, as he dedicated his music and poetry purely to the service of the Lord. Narasingaraya was offended, and in a fit of rage, he ordered that the poet should be bound with chains and locked up in the prison. A song is mentioned in this context. Akati vellala nala paina velalanu. Annamacharya contemplated the situation, and his thoughts naturally turned to the Supreme Saviour. He uttered a song instantly, expressing his unwavering faith in the Lord. Akati vellala. At once the fetters that bound him fell off. The awestruck guards rushed to their master and reported the miraculous happening. Narasingaraya was overcome with remorse when he realized the greatness of the saint and humbly sought his forgiveness. Annamacharya did forgive him, but decided to eschew the company of such worldly links and proceeded to Tirupati to live in peace. In his last days, Annamacharya spent most of his time in Tirupati organizing utsavas and pujas for the Lord. There, he wrote a short narrative poem entitled Sringara Manjari, describing the passionate longing of a young girl for Sri Venkateshwara and the fulfillment of her wish. He also composed numerous songs that vividly describe the pomp and spectacle, rituals and festivals associated with the shrine. Annamayya is said to have composed over 32,000 lyrics. Besides the Samkirtanas, he also composed Ramayana in Dvipada meter. Venkatachala Mahatmyam in Sanskrit, 12 Satakams, several Prabandhas, Sringara Manjari and Sankirtana Lakshana in Sanskrit, which is now not available. Annamacharya lived to a ripe old age and could look back with satisfaction on his extensive service as the chief hymnist of Sri Venkateshwara himself. It is known that he performed the Brahmopatesham to one of his grandsons, Chinna Tirumalacharya, and according to reliable inscriptional evidence, he entrusted the sacred task of offering a fresh hymn to the Lord every day to his son Pedda Tirumalacharya and passed away on 23rd February in 1503. Annamayya left behind him worthy successors who were great scholars and poets in their own right. Pedda Tirumalacharya was the son of Akkalamma. His son was Chinna Tirumalacharya. Tirumalamma's son Narasimhacharya was also said to have been a great poet. Pedda Tirumalacharya, assisted by Saluva Narasingaraya, was the one who started the process of storing Annamayya's songs on copper plates. He had many poetical works to his credit. The contribution of the Tallapaka poets was recognized by many poets of future generations. Annamacharya had also regarded life as a theatrical show full of pretenses and vain pursuits, as he says in the following song. Nanati Batuku Natakamu.
In this session, we began with an introduction about the saint poet Annamacharya. Following this, we discussed about his musicianship and compositions. Based on the biography written by his grandson, we have analyzed in detail the historical account of this great poet's life and its relationship to his compositions. With this, we come to the end of this session. Thank you.